Welcome to Rhinos and Aliens. Have you heard anything or keeping up about how all these networks and streaming services are taking down certain shows,
Yes.
episodes with...
I've heard about it. I haven't looked into it at all, or like I haven't seen any of it.
Okay, so how
I know
it's been 30 Rock. It's
couple episodes of stuff. Yeah, like The Office lost an episode or something like that.
Yeah, The Office 9. What was it? The comedy with the cops 9. With that one musician.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name.
9/11/9 or whatever.
Yeah.
That TV show.
Yeah.
They got some stuff taken out. How you feel about that whole concept?
I mean, to me, this is where it kind of gets like I'm not sure. Is because I know comedy. It's satire. You know what I'm saying? You take serious situations and you make them funny.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of like I'm not sure where it plays, because to me, as a comedian, I believe you should have
Full freedom.
Yeah, to make jokes and stuff like that. I mean, it's your job. It's your job to make people laugh. And, comedians, obviously, not all their stories are going to be true. They're going to tell lies and stuff like that. But my thing is, it's rough, man. It's rough. Like, for instance, it's like, Jimmy Kimmel came under scrutiny for doing blackface 10 years ago or something like that, right?
That one YouTube female star, same thing.
Yeah. So my thing is, honestly, I think the blackface is really, really bad. I don't know why you ever thought that was a good idea. It's just never a good idea. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, like you said, back then, no one really thought about it. And now, in today's time, it's an extremely sensitive subject.
But this is my thing. Would people be offended if black people did whiteface?
I don't know.
That's my...
I mean, would people be offended? Yes. People are offended by everything nowadays. You know that.
Oh, okay. And of course there would be some people, but I'm saying, would it be a social thing? Would it be a media topic?
Well, my thing is, here's my thing, right? It happened 12 years ago. I don't like digging up the past because people change from yesterday. So to destroy somebody's career and life over something that happened over a decade ago to 2 decades ago to 3 decades ago.
Especially if they weren't trying to be offensive, or better yet, they were trying to...
Exactly. If it's a comedy thing, because that's satire, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where the line is drawn. But to me personally, I don't think that's fair, because their job is to make people laugh, And I'm willing to bet he wasn't the only one on set. He wasn't the only one shooting cameras, the one producing. You know what I mean? He wasn't the only one. But he came under scrutiny for it. And I'm like, I understand blackface isn't a good thing. You shouldn't do it. It's a bad look. Nobody wants. It's just terrible. But the thing is, it was 12 years ago. Nobody had barely. I'm pretty sure I had some backlash back then. But
my thing, we're getting, why is black? What makes blackface bad? Yet you could do certain makeups and completely change your skin tone.
I guess it kind of depends on. See, look, this is what I'm saying. It's touchy, because to me, when you say blackface, I think somebody is intentionally portraying themselves as black in a negative way. That, to me, that's what blackface means.
See, I don't disagree with that definition, but every time these people use blackface, for example, like 30 Rock, they took down 4 episodes. Mm-hmm. And every single episode, they never used blackface in a negative manner. Or every time they used it, it was to highlight how stuff used to be in the past, which was in a negative manner. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, so I kind of see what you're saying. They use blackface because that's how blackface was used back then.
Yes, as an example, for sitcoms or whatever.
As like reality back then.
Yes.
Okay. I do understand that.
Like, for example, one of the episodes, they used blackface for social experiments, saying who has it harder, a black man or a white woman. So one of the white women dressed up as a black man, and the black man dressed up as a white woman.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and the black man put on whiteface. Yet nobody's complaining about that. They're just complaining about the white woman with the blackface. This is what I'm trying to say.
That's why I don't. It's why I don't get it. I don't get it either. But I understand not doing blackface. I honestly, I think that's a very bad portrayal.
Yeah,
I just don't think anyone should do it. But I don't understand the scrutiny people are coming. Like I said, it's been for Jimmy Kimmel. It's the only one because it's the only article I actually read.
Yeah.
12 years. It happened 12 years ago.
But-
and he wasn't making fun of black people. He was just portraying a
black
person.
person.
That's why it's kind of like I don't get that. It's very tough.
No, but that's why when people use the term blackface, they need to be careful because
It's the term. It's the term. That's the problem.
yes,
The problem. It's the term. If you say he was portraying a black person, then it doesn't sound that bad. But if you say he used blackface, to me that's a negative.
well, no, I agree because technically wasn't blackface used for white people mocking black people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's a negative.
But every show, they were never mocking. Every show that I've read
For
had
30 Rock.
30 Rock, Community.
Oh, the ones that were canceled. Okay.
Yeah. They were never using blackface to mock black people. It was just, for example, the other episodes for 30 Rock, it was idolizing pop culture phenomenons. So one of the things was Black Swan and a football player. It had something to do with the story to where both characters had the same last name, and it was a Halloween party.
I don't know. Well, my thing is, what was I gonna say?
All I'm trying to say is, to go into your point about it was in the past. Do you consider TV shows art? Do we consider movies art?
Yeah.
If that's the case, how are we completely deleting these episodes from history any different from when the Nazis were burning books
On Polish. For not Polish, for Jews.
for Jews? How is that any different?
I don't know. You got a point, but I
Like, for example, Gone with the Wind. You remember the controversy with that with
nope. Don't
Okay.
even remember what that was about.
Oh, okay. Well, a better example. Do you know about Disney with Song of the South?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
Is that a movie?
yeah.
I think I've seen the trailer to that movie.
Yeah, well, now the only way to view it is if you actually purchased it on VHS or DVD when they released
you
it.
can't buy it anymore.
You can't buy it anymore, and it's not on their streaming plus service, even though every other movie is. And it comes to the point, yes, that film is supposedly racist or has a very negative connotation for black people, but at the same time, isn't that... But by us deleting that from the history books, we're not giving context to how films were made back then, how perspective was given back then.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Because although it is a movie and it did take place, it still gives the reality of what happened back then.
Yes, bro.
I see what you're saying.
Like, for example, Huckleberry and Finch, that famous novel by who Mark
Oh,
Twain
no.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Twain.
The word, the negative N word, the ER, is used throughout that book. So are we just going to say, let's burn every single copy now? Just because it's offensive language is in there?
I don't know, dude. We're getting into way too much of a sensitive subject that I
Okay.
can't. It's not that it's too sensitive. It's just the fact that I don't know a proper answer to give you. I really don't. But my thing is, like I said, my whole thing is with the past. You know how people apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand if someone.
How about this? Removing pop culture from availability because it doesn't meet current standards is an ethical wrong. Just because like you said, our ethical standards from just 5 years ago is different from now.
Yeah,
let
absolutely.
alone 12 years ago. So when we're trying to go back 100 years, of course
you're gonna see a bunch of things that aren't correct or right by today's standards.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And even though it's not an apples to apples comparison, just because different, the English language was different 100 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
200 years ago. Are we just now no longer going to read or listen to those pieces of art because the language doesn't add up?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, but like I said, I just don't know. I really don't know.
I just feel people are so fucking sensitive now, bro. And they're not consistent.
People are definitely sensitive, way too sensitive now. That's without a fact.
But see, but what we're doing right now, I would be happy if there was communicating. If everybody came to
An agreement.
agreement.
Yeah, but there is none of that.
No,
It's
no.
literally is I feel this type of way. You have to accompany my feelings.
And that's what these media companies are doing.
Yeah.
Because of Black Lives Movement, okay, we just don't want to offend. Just take it down. But
I understand you don't want to offend people. Nobody wants to offend.
everybody's going to be offended.
That's the problem.
There's always going to be somebody offended.
I guess it's just more. It's more of a current issue. That's why
But is it current?
Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying it's very prevalent right now. It always matters. It always does matter. It always will matter. But the thing is, you can admit over the last 2-3 months, I would say in the last 2 especially, it's been very, all the protests and everything. It's been heavily prevalent.
But I personally think when you cave that easily, rather than actually processing something or giving a reason not to cave, is more thoughtful.
I feel like it depends on how you do it. You know what I mean?
But this is my thing. Just to make a statement saying, okay, we're taking these episodes down because this group is whatever and we don't want to offend, I feel that's lazy. Especially with some of these episodes, they're using...
I understand what you're saying now. It would to me, I feel like it would be a lot more like thoughtful and meaningful if they put like a warning before you watched it.
Looney Tunes, bro.
Like warning, this does not depict the views of Disney, as just know that it was the cultural standard, or
views have changed since
views have changed since, yeah, it's like it was the culture standard 100 years ago. If they put a warning before you watched it, that would be better, because it's like, okay, they actually do care. They're just, they're saying that this movie is this.
But for me,
again, it depends on how
they word it.
Not only that, how bad is the movie? You know what I mean?
But bro, that's still being subjective then, because a bad movie to one person is a great movie to another.
I mean, like how
offensive?
Yeah, offensive. That's the word.
But that's still, I still feel that's, whenever you grade anything from an artist's perspective, it's subjective. For comedy, how often has a group of people said, this was made for this perspective, but somebody took the completely different perspective?
Yeah.
Should that piece of art be taken down because somebody has a different view of it?
Maybe. I don't know. That's why I don't make the big decisions, Francis. It's exactly why I don't make the big decisions. In all honesty, I don't mind them taking out the episodes. It doesn't... I mean, do I mind them taking them off, like... Actually, yeah. I understand what you're saying, where the episodes are missing.
Bro, there's no reruns.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to... Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like at most... I feel like they could take them off TV, like the live streaming. Or not live streaming, but the live... But, like, over the internet, I feel like you could have kept them on with
but
a
bro,
warning
they're
or
taking
something
them
like
down
that.
everywhere.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I feel like... I understand you taking them off of TV, but not off of the internet. But then again, that's my point of view.
Just a friendly reminder, guys. Hit the subscribe button in this corner. And then for the newest video, then for the most recommended, and then for our famous dick pic,